and I'm gonna focus mostly on the Florida education system. Florida is not facing a crisis of any kind, none that I know of whatsoever, other than that there is a teacher shortage. And I believe it is our duty to do what we can as a business to promote educational prosperity, efficiency, and so on. How does that look like? Well, I'm a very small company. Well, my company is a very small company. We just started out this year. So for now, I will be most likely publishing, actually I am publishing articles known as the Good Teacher articles, in which I provide my point of view, my opinions, my experience on what it takes to be a good teacher. Not a great teacher, not a terrible teacher, a good teacher. And being a good teacher is not as easy as it sounds. A good teacher may sound like, oh, I just gotta follow my job description and I'll be okay. No, not necessarily. I did that my second year as a teacher. I followed my job description and I had a horrible time. My students did not respect me. The administrators did not respect me. I was miserable at my job. My coworkers, some helped, some didn't. It was just a bad time for me. But in that second year as a teacher, where I faced all these challenges, all these dilemmas, I didn't have to, but I took a break. I could not be a teacher for a few months. Nothing happened, I just couldn't. And I came to the conclusion that, man, me following the curriculum to the T or following the instructions of my administrators all the time and trying to control my class without giving them some freedom was detrimental to myself and my students. And I didn't like that. I did not like it at all. So I came to the conclusion that the next time, my third year, the next time I become a teacher, I'm gonna do something to make sure that not only am I doing what my job description tells me to do, but I'm gonna do it in a way where I will know exactly how to do it. I will be comfortable doing it, and I'll make sure that my students, regardless of who they are or what they've done, understand that I'm here for them. And that's gonna take a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of planning, and I did. My fourth year as a teacher, I started at a Christian school. Now, before starting that Christian school, a little background, I was very conflicted with, man, should I really teach in a Christian school or should I not? Would this be detrimental to myself or would this be better to myself? Is this Christian school what it is they say they are? Are they disciplined? Are they this? Are they that? Well, I wouldn't find out until I actually started, didn't I? Now, what really scared me my first week as a teacher in that Christian school was the fact that the class I had, a sixth grade class, but most of the people I met, administrators and teachers included, told me that I had the most difficult grade in the entire school. And I was a little confused at that. I was like, the sixth graders are the most difficult grade in the school. And they told me that, oh yeah, they ran out 2 teachers. One of those teachers had surgery. The other one quit midway. And I was just like, okay, they sound horrible. But then I remembered, last time I came in thinking that the students were horrible, I had a miserable time. So I said, well, let me give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't know them yet. I haven't even met them. So let me just start. Came into the classroom. I had about anywhere between 19 and 25 students at a time. This school was very lax on attendance, but they were always keeping check on the kids whenever they were absent, so it was okay. Other than that, I simply met and I forget my mentor's name. The one I was there, he helped me get into the flow of how the school worked and so on. Spoke to him. He told me everything about himself. He was a World War II vet, but he was old and he was, getting ready to retire, and the kids were all over the place. My very first day, one student, and I will love him to death. No matter what anyone tells me, I love this kid. I just can't say his name because he's still a minor, but I hope one day I get to show him in a video. I told him he said something very slick and very disrespectful to this man who was very, this man by no way is weak. He was just very old, and where I come from, you have to show some form of respect to your elders. This kid just said something, and I just went off on him. I said, hey, you can't be saying that. Show some respect. This man has lived through life and fought in a war just so you can be where you are today. After that, the kid got quiet. I wasn't playing around. I was very strict my first week there and as a teacher. I already laid down the ground rules. One kid messes up, they all mess up. That doesn't mean I yell at all of them. I just say, all right, you want to act like that? Perfectly fine. But now I'm going to go military style. One of you decides to be disrespectful to anyone or do something you're not supposed to do or say something you're not supposed to say, I'm going to take time away from your privileges. In this school in particular, their privileges was, okay, let's go outside for recess for about 15 minutes to maybe up to 30 minutes, depending on what was allowed by the administrators. There was a week. I was their teacher for about 6 months before, the pandemic. There was a week where my class in particular, my 6th grade students, did not go outside for 3 days. 3 days straight, they did not go outside. They were miserable. And I simply told them, if you guys want to go outside, you better earn it. I need to see work done. I need to see y'all behaving and showing respect. I need to see y'all I need to make sure y'all are doing what you got to do. But then they did something that I didn't expect. I did not expect this at all. There was like a day that I was absent. Like one day, I had a doctor's appointment or something. I had to call school. Hey, I just want to make sure. I called the front office in the morning and in the afternoon. I called, hey, just letting y'all know I'm not there today. Can you just let me know my kids are there? I got to make sure they're all right, blah, blah. The lady at the time, and I love her to death, Miss Torres, beautiful woman, very kind, very smart, very intelligent, very straightforward. I love that about her. She told me, yes, your kids are fine. You don't have to call us every time. And I said, well, I just want to make sure. And of course, I decided to annoy her again, and I called in the afternoon and asked her the same question. Hey, I know I already called earlier. How have they been? Have they been good? Are they showing respect? And you know what she told me? She told me, yeah, they've been actually very good. And I was like, oh, I'm glad to hear that. So when I heard that, I simply asked, who was the substitute? I forgot who the substitute was, but I called that substitute. I had their number, and I asked, hey, how are my kids doing? How are they treating you? And the substitute said that they've been the best they've ever been since the school year started. And I was like, really? I was like, yeah. I don't know what you do, but good job. I was like, oh, thank you. And I had to give them something, man. Like, they haven't gone outside for 3 days. I was absent one day. And I remember I came back to the school. And as soon as I came a few minutes late, I was under the weather. But as soon as I came in the classroom, all my kids, all 20 of them, just tackled me and hugged me and held me tight. And I was like, whoa, this is pretty good. I like this feeling. And I was very happy. I didn't expect it from them. I thought they hated me, and they didn't. They all told me they hated me my first week, but in my second week, I guess, I don't know, they must have turned. And I love them. I still remember their faces, and I remember their names, or at least I tried to. And each kid, man, I remember I gave them each time to talk to me, like, what happened in the past 6 months? Because I started in January, so 6 months, 5 or 6 months had already passed. And I asked each kid, like, hey, let me just ask y'all something, and be honest, don't worry, I'm not gonna say anything unless it's something bad. Why were you guys, I was told that this was a tough class. Why is that? And each kid told me everything. They told me everything. They said, like, we're bored. We got nothing to do. We're not really inspired to do our work. And you're the only one that came in here that actually gave us a goal. And I was like, oh, really? So, yeah. And have you told your teachers this before they left? It's like, well, they didn't listen to us. They didn't listen to you. It's like, oh, they didn't. Have you told administrators? Oh, they didn't listen to us either. Okay. They weren't inspired. They had no goals, and I had to come up with something. I said, you know what? Let me do something that I'm very good at. Service. within like my 3rd week that I started in that school, I started something called the service club, and I told my students, we're gonna do the service club. It's only for my 6th graders, you guys. And I promise you, as long as you help keep the school good, and by keeping the school good, I told them, helping little kids out, cleaning the school, taking out the trash, sweeping the floors, mopping the floors, helping our custodian, who at the time was a nice, sweet old lady, so kind and endearing. And I told them, to help her out. And we did that at least once a week. And I let the parents know, hey, look, I'm having your kids help me. Well, they're joining the service club. They're helping me do this, and that. And I just want you to know that they're doing this. And if you don't want them to do this, I completely understand. Just let me know now, and they won't have to do it. Every single parent of my kids I had their whole support. Not a single one told me no. They legitimately said, do it. And I miss my kids, man. I miss those knuckleheads. Do you know that I actually had the support of all the parents my first year in that school, after only being there for 3 weeks? Was one of the happiest feelings I ever had. And I'm tearing up, man. I miss those knuckleheads. As they did the service club every month, I told them, every time you guys do something good, I'm gonna do 2 things for y'all every month. The first would always be we go out to the park, just enjoy a nice day out in the sun. And the second thing would be more towards the end of the month, we'll have a field trip to like a non-profit organization. I took them to an animal shelter where they got to play with cats, they got to play with dogs, they got to clean up a dog and learn about stuff. I was like, and then my class, I don't care what anyone tells me in that school, those 6th graders that year, they were the best students in the whole school. And then my 2nd year, my next group of 6th graders, the roughest bunch I ever had. Oh, they're such a difficult class. They were very difficult, more difficult than my first. But I ended up loving each and every one of them. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't Mr. Perfect. I was just trying to be good. That's all. With the pandemic going on, it was very hard for me to do what I did with my first group. But I promise, man, I did my best. And I hope one day I get to see all those kids again and give them a big old hug and tell them they're all knuckleheads. But I love them. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of compassion to be a good teacher. And I think that's where we as teachers, we need to develop those skills. Grow them so large and just be a good teacher, Hug your kids, man. Shake their hands. Lift them up when they're sad. Listen to them, It's a lot, yeah. But you gotta do it. To be a good teacher takes more than just teaching. You're literally everything to these kids for 8 hours out of the day, 10 months out of the year, for about, what is it now, 12, almost 12 years of their lives, maybe more. I promise I'll keep making videos like these, hopefully without the tears. But I think it's time We understand that these kids, they're gonna be replacing us. So if we want the generation after them to be good too, we gotta be good to the ones right now. Anyways, I'm way over my time. If you found this informational at all, I went completely off script. I got really into talking about my kids. Please, share it with people. Subscribe to the Good Teacher articles and practice being a good teacher. That's all I got. My name is Jose Vigoreaux of Vigoreaux Hospitality Entertainment. This is part of the Good Teacher articles and videos. Thank you for listening. God bless. Take care, y'all.